What's going on YouTube, and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be carrying on learn penetration testing for beginners. And for this purpose, I am using bWAPP for this purpose. And the video today will talk about something called Iframe Injection, which is part of learning how to do penetration testing for web applications. So here, what we're going to do here, we're going to explore what does iframe injection means, right? So in the past, we have explored the HTML injection, right? We were able to inject HTML malicious codes in the URL parameters, and we were able to obtain reverse shell. Okay, after HTML injection, we're gonna here see iframe injection. So we go to the application portal and we click on iframe injection, click hack. Okay, so as you can see here, we have the content that appears to be from the robots.txt file. You know, the robots.txt file is the file that controls the behavior of your website towards search engines. So basically, as you can see here, it's clear that the page is including or embedding the content of the robots.txt file in the page. Now, what is iframe, by the way? So to understand what is iframe, first we're going to click on inspect element, and in here I can see the iframe is specified in the page. Now what's the purpose, the objective, what's the function of the iframe? Now for those of you who don't know what is iframe is an HTML tag that allows you to display the content of a specific file or website from within the origin document. So the origin document here, the origin document is this page, right? So it is iframe.php. This is the origin document, right? This is this page. Now, if I want to display the content of another web page or file inside the page so that they appear together, I would use iframe. The iframe takes some parameters. The parameters are the source, the width, height, frame border, and you can see some other parameters. If you have studied CSS, there are some parameters that do some styling to the iframe. Okay, so what we can do here, we can see that the iframe, right, specifies robots.txt as the source file to be included in the page. And in fact, the page has successfully loaded the robots.txt file within the page, which is fine, totally fine. We all use iframes. But the problem is, I can see the iframe here, but the problem is I have the iframe parameters, right, exposed in the URL. That is the problem. So whenever you use iframe, the iframe parameters, like the source, width, whatsoever, these parameters should not be exposed in the URL. And if they are exposed, there should be some kind of input validation that validates the input from the user. Whatever is processed from the user, it shouldn't be rendered on the page without control check. So the first security misconfiguration here, I have the iframe parameters displayed on the page, right? Now a malicious user would try to change the robot.txt into a file of their own, right? So they can display their ad or their malicious website. So whenever a user visits the page, let's have an example. So for example, if I want to load my website, if I would trick users into visiting my website for advertisement purposes, I will type here in the parameter where I will replace robots.txt with http with my website. And if I click enter, I will see here my website has been loaded, right, as an iframe. Now I can make this look wider so the user can see that clearly. So we can make the width like 500, and we can make the height by 500 the same, and we can click on enter. Okay, now we have made the iframe or the page clearer to the user so they can see the page and they can visit it, right? So they can visit the page. Let's see here, we can open my page right from the iframe injection we have inflected on the page. Okay, now this means that an attacker can do my iframe injection attack on the page. So they would replace the value of the parameter URL here with a URL of their choice. So a user, when the user visits the page, they would see the page of the attacker displayed here, right? And they would click on it. It could be a login form, it could be a flash ad, it could be their own malicious website. So you see their website and you click, and when you click, you will be triggered, or you will be prompted to download some file and take some kind of bonus, and then say bye-bye to your computer or to your mobile phone. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go now here to illustrate the attack. So basically here, I have, if we want to code an iframe, right, like this one. So this is the IP of um, the bWAPP, right? Now I am building an iframe, right, like this one. So here is my attacker IP address, right? And here is the height. I'm going to specify the height as 500. So this would be noticeable to any unsuspecting user who would visit the website. And I'm going to take that. Let's grab this. Oh, no. Go back. Okay, copy that. And let's go back to the URL and replace the link here with the attacker IP. And we can click on enter. Enable to connect. Okay, let's establish a listener on our machine. So on the left side of my terminal, I would clear that and I would say sudo nclvp and listen on port 80, right? Since the visitor would connect to me now. Okay, we are listening now. Let's go back and see what happened. All right, so now, as you can see, it's connecting to my machine and I received a connection like the referrer is from the, as you can see, from the, the bWAPP. Now I can take this further, okay, and let the user send their cookie, right? So we would type some, let's say something like here in the parameter width, we can type something like alert or script alert document. Let's see if that works. Okay, let me go back to my listener and do that again. Oh, so we didn't receive the cookie apparently, but we received the request that is sent by the browser. It has been directed to us now. Now, how can we avoid these kind of attacks? It's devastating that you visit a website and you see an iframe here, right, that doesn't belong to the website, and after you click, it turns out that you have been some kind of hacked or whatsoever. So we're gonna go back, clear that, and go to the iframe here. So one way to secure the iframe use, guys, is let's say here we have an iframe that we need to embed a web page inside the originating document. So what we can do here, we can use a feature called sandbox equal allow scripts. Scripts or script, I can't remember. Let's say scripts. Okay. So when I use that, right, I'm doing some kind of, I only allow scripts or I don't allow scripts or the redirection from originating page to another page. Right, so use this tag sandbox equal allow scripts to prevent this kind of attacks. If you're using WordPress, then it's okay. You don't need to worry about that. WordPress doesn't allow this, does have this feature by default. Okay, another aspect of this to secure or to prevent iframe injection attacks is to have proper file permissions on the handler. So the handler here is define iframe of PHP. It should be read only by the outside world or It should has everyone. I mean, read only permissions for everyone, right? So that is for today. I hope you find this helpful and see you in the next video.